Harry Saltzman decided to do the Ipcress File. I think his initial intention was to do it like a poor man's Bond, but we all attacked him on that. Sid Fury, the director, myself, and Harry had brought over a producer from New York, Charlie Casher, and Michael Caine, of course, who plays the lead. And when Harry came back from Hollywood, and where he had great difficulties in setting up the film, we all ganged up on him and said, but don't think you're going to make it like a poor man's Bond. It should be an anti-hero. That decision was so important, and so important for the eventual success of the film. I knew Len Dayton, and I had read, obviously, his book. The character appealed to me. And you have to remember, it was one of the very early films of Mike Caine. And he seemed to be typecast for the part. So I think, I always keep saying there are certain films where everything seems to fit in. Not only in terms of scripting and so on, but also in terms of personalities that one is working with. And we all got on beautifully. I mean, there was Mike, who you can't not get on with. Sid Fury, talented, sometimes difficult. Otto Heller, a brilliant cameraman who I had worked with on previous pictures. And he was a complete instinct cameraman. And he had a wonderful operator who sort of gave the light meter readings and so on and came up with ideas. So everybody somehow contributed to the film. And in my experience, those sort of films where everybody gets on nearly always turn out to be good films. And we decided that we were trying to shoot 90% of the film on location. And also remember, we had a very low budget. I can't remember the exact figure, but it was a low budget. So it was trying to find the right exterior, interior locations. I mean, which today is second nature, but in those days, we still were making pictures mainly at the studio. So the head of MI5, played by Nigel Green, if I remember rightly, that place I found in Grosvenor Place, not far from here. It was a sort of Edwardian house, and we used it for a lot of interiors. We had to find the right exteriors. Some were near the Albert Hall, if you remember, where he puts the parking meter in. There is quite an amusing anecdote because Harry was still convinced that he was making a Bond picture. And Nigel Green's office, very military man, I found this very tall room in this Edwardian house in Grosvenor Square. And overnight, I had the idea It was a beautifully proportioned room with 2 or 3 very tall windows. I thought, wouldn't it be fun to have this military disciplinarian sitting behind a trestle table, a camp bed on one side, and a bust of a famous general like Wellington or Caesar, where Harry had said I could get any computers, he would provide me with everything that I needed. So that morning, I came on the set. Harry Saltzman arrived, and he sees this empty set, and he just went ape.
I hope you're not imputing negligence to my department.
My dear chap, there's no question of that.
And after about 2 hours, he came back completely relaxed, and he said, I think you made the right decision.
Now listen to me.
Listen to me.
Are you listening?
Yes.
Phone Colonel Ross and ask him to meet you at the warehouse. Then go back there yourself, and I will meet you there.
Now listen to me. Listen to me.
Do it now, then hang up and forget what I've just said. Get those men out of the warehouse.
It was interesting, and even some people may have thought it was a little contrived, but Otto and his operator came up with the idea of using interesting setups, shooting through keyholes and all that sort of thing. And I thought it gave a certain style to the film, even though it may have been a little self-conscious, but I thought it fitted well into the overall concept of the film. It was a very progressive and tough, outspoken young director, and I think he did. I think he did a very good job on the film, and sort of looking back, I think it's the only film I did with him as a director. I met him several times when I was living in Malibu and in Los Angeles, but he never regained that talent or the of the Ipcress File.
Killed or driven stark raving mad.
That's what you're paid for.
Thank you.
I was nominated by the then BAFTA, British Academy, that year for Best Art Direction for Goldfinger, which was a Bond film, and the Ipcress File. So I had 2 nominations. And Harry and Cubby had taken a big table wherever it was. The awards were presented. And I won it for the Ipcress File, which was its all-location picture. And Cubby wouldn't talk to me. I mean, you know, for the rest of the day. And I think, I don't think it's one of those films which I don't think has aged, because I think Michael was so fantastic and so right. And the action between Michael and Nigel Green and Guy Dolman and so on was, very exciting. And, I think we fooled the audiences with Michael being a prisoner in some foreign country and so on. We fooled ourselves to some extent too, And I think in a certain way it's a classic.